Hey everyone, it's devlog time again, and now we are at the 9th episode, following the progress of my indie game, which is a top-down shoot-'em-up that I'm coding in Swift on top of the SpriteKit and GameplayKit frameworks. The biggest update since last week is that I have coded an initial bullet pattern engine, and other than that, I've implemented a few quality of life additions to the level editor. Let's start by taking a look at the new bullet pattern engine, which is replacing the enemy's plain random shooting or aiming that was previously coded directly into the component itself. Just like I did with pattern editing in the last episode, this feature started out as a separate Xcode playground, and I'm really starting to dig this kind of workflow where I begin a new feature as a playground. When creating the bullet engine, I experimented with a bunch of different math formulas, but at the end of the day, I wasn't really completely happy with the inflexibility that I felt that I worked towards. So instead, I opted to start studying bullet ML, and then I implemented an engine loosely based on the specs of bullet ML, but with a more modern approach based on Swift objects instead of XML. Bullet ML has a few shortcomings, but many nice ideas at the same time how to handle bullets. So eventually I thought that was the right way to go. And I will fine-tune my implementation as I move forward, and I will keep adding more modern and relevant features as I see fit. Moving the code base from the playground into the actual game code was sort of a breeze. So once I was done in the playground, I had the new bullet pattern up and running in the game in no time. And while I was doing this, I decided to try to keep the bullet engine separate from the rest of the game and make it completely independent so I can reuse it in the future. That also gave me an excuse to introduce myself to Swift packages in Xcode, which I haven't touched before, which was a nice experience. And for now, I've chosen to call this package with an Apple-style name, so it's called BulletKit. And if I polish it enough, I will consider open sources in the future. Okay, so let's move on to the level editor. And when it comes to the editor, I've implemented a bunch of quality of life enhancements. And the most notable is multi-select. This really makes all the difference in the world compared to previously, when I had to mode entities one by one. It's quite a game changer. So now I have a tool that's getting closer to actually be production useful. Also, the trigger positions now move with the entities, so I don't have to go back and adjust them one by one after moving entities around. Talking about the trigger positions, I added a small crosshair to them, so I now can see exactly where the trigger happens. And finally, I implemented an overlay for design guides. I used to love this kind of guides when I worked with Lightroom 3D in the past, as well as Adobe Lightroom these days. So I created a bunch of common ones using CG mutable path together with SK shape nodes to help guiding me with placement when the final level designs begin. And right now I have a crosshair, I have simple grid and another also simple grid but with squares. I have the rule of thirds, a diagonal, a triangle, the golden ratio, and finally the golden spiral. That concludes what I've been up to last week. Next, I will work on implementing a more advanced firing system for the player with bullet upgrades and everything that comes with that. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can check out my blog where I'm writing more in-depth articles with code examples. And you can also follow me or reach out to me on Twitter. Links are in the video description. May the source be with you. Cheers.